I didn't need anything more than that. I didn't want anything more than that. You thought you'd be special? He shrugged, unwilling to admit that what I'd said was the truth. Why don't you do relationships? It was my turn to shrug. I knew, of course I did. But it wasn't something I was willing to discuss with a near stranger simply because our bodies had gotten intimately acquainted for a few hours. I offered a tight smile. Maybe listen to your friends next time. They were trying to help you. He looked hopeful for a minute, his lips curling into a smile far more genuine than mine had been. Okay, no relationships, I get it. But everyone needs a fuck buddy, right? I can give you my number. I shook my head, the pounding having eased off enough that it wasn't too painful. Bloody tequila. Thanks, Aaron, that's sweet. But I'm going to have to turn down your generous offer. I took another pointed look at my watch. I've got to run. See you around? I didn't wait for his response before hightailing it out of the bedroom and managing to find my way out of the unfamiliar house. I slid down lower in the seat and laid my head back as the tube train approached Covent Garden. As a freelance sound engineer, I was used to working in many different venues. The Royal Opera House was a first, though. Apparently, the person lined up to do the job had had to pull out at the last minute. Something to do with a family emergency triggering a trip to New Zealand. The head of set design, and a long-term friend of mine, had put my name forward as a possible replacement. So there I was, on my way to hang out with a load of ballet dancers for the next few weeks. I wouldn't normally have been available, but I'd been planning on taking some time off. But with the money they were offering, plus an additional bonus for taking the job on such short notice, it was too good to turn down. The planned trip to a sun-soaked beach somewhere exotic would have to wait. It was for that reason that I wasn't too concerned about turning up late. If they were desperate enough to pay me almost double what I was used to, then they were hardly likely to turn me away for being a bit late. I checked my watch again, my mouth twisting. Okay, more than a bit. An hour late. I sat up as the tube train slowed to a stop, the man in the seat opposite catching my eye and making a point of letting his gaze travel slowly down my body. Jesus, he must be desperate. I hadn't looked in a mirror, but given the way I felt, and the fact that I hadn't showered or shaved, I knew I was hardly looking my best. Perhaps he dug the homeless look. I averted my gaze and headed for the door farthest away from him. I took another 15 minutes to reach the imposing white stonework and intricate masonry that made up the Royal Opera House. I navigated my way between the columns that fronted the building, wishing I'd had time to stop for something to eat, or at least a coffee. I'd kill right then for a coffee. I doubted there was going to be much on offer inside, particularly for a latecomer reporting for duty on his first day. A further 10 minutes was wasted while security checked out my story. It seemed that nobody had thought to change the name on the previous employee to mine, a glaring oversight on someone's part. It took multiple phone calls and conversations before it was finally sorted and I was issued with a pass and a set of directions to where I needed to go. I wended my way down the corridors, attempting to recall the barrage of left, right, left instructions I'd been given, and thankful for the occasional sign that told me I was on the right track. After a long trek, I finally reached the side door that would take me into the auditorium, and therefore to the sound booth next to the stage. I'd barely gotten a foot inside when my arm was grabbed and I was hustled back out into the corridor, the door banging shut loudly behind us, as Noel's furious face glowered into mine. "For fuck's sake, Max! Do you know what time it is? They've been asking where the hell you are. I put in a good word for you to get this job, so you being an irresponsible dick reflects badly on me as well as you. Not that you probably give a damn, but I do." Noel and I went back years, ever since school, but I couldn't remember ever seeing him this pissed before. Not at me, anyway. I removed my arm from his grasp.